الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Of closure in June 2014. And Jazakumullah khairan for brothers and sisters who have gracefully donated last week, and as you are also donating throughout the internet and also into the banks. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give everyone an abundance of barakah for your donations. Ameen. I'm going to ask Brother Imaduddin to go around and do the collections. Please donate generously. As you know, we are into the second fix of our building. The accommodation is near enough completion in terms of flooring, in terms of lighting. We are now about to put the fixtures and fittings into the accommodation side. So there's a lot of, we're spending nearly 10 to 12,000 pounds every week now in the building work. So please come forward and pay as much as you can. We are looking at people who could donate or give as a kharza hasana to the masjid, to the house of Allah. Remember, every pound, every penny you donate goes towards an investment for the akhirah. It is the invisible barakah that we don't see. And we spend a lot of money here and there, but it's for worldly gain. What are we doing for the eternal life? Let us put something together. Let us put something into the pocket of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if I may say so that it becomes an investment for us in the day of Akhirah. Please do come forward. If you have any money, spare money to lend us, do so, and we will return them back to you as soon as you require it. I've been asked to please make dua for our building brothers, the Muslim brothers who are actually helping us to build this masjid. They have been working tirelessly 6 days a week, almost 10-12 hours. So make dua for their welfare, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep them safe and well. Someone said about parking. Now, we don't have any designated car park at the moment. We are working on something, hopefully in the future. But if you could park slightly away from the building, there are plenty of off-street parking in the front, away from the building. Please do not block any of the driveways behind the building of our neighbors. And the classes, the Arabic classes are as normal. The Hifz classes are Monday and Wednesday from 5 till 7, which is led by our Imam Sheikh Wadda. And the 40 Hadith of Imam Nawawi is on a Tuesday at 7:30, which is led by Sheikh Harun. That's going as normal. Now, again, we've only got 7 or 8 accommodation bookings so far. We are looking for students who would like to take up the accommodation on top of the masjid. Please do come forward. And it will be the state-of-the-art facility that you can think of as a single room. And the rent starts from £85 per week onwards, and inclusive of heat, light, and everything else. We will have kitchens, we will have other facilities in the building which will supplement the accommodations. Jazakumullah khairan for listening to me. And today we have NTV, which is a national Bengali national television. We are doing a documentary on the Abdullah Kuliyab, and hopefully in about 8 to 10 days' time we'll go to London to a talk show where we will be presenting the work that we have done in the masjid, and hopefully in Ramadan we will be doing some collection in one of the other channels as well. So the brothers who are here filming, don't be shy, it's only for our own good cause, and of course some people will be interviewed outside. So do participate in this documentary. It is for the benefit of the masjid. And I do want to thank NTV, Fakhr Alambai and his team who are here all the way from London to help us raise funds for this masjid. Jazakumullah khairan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us all safe and well. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلله فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا وعظيمنا وحبيبنا محمدا عبد الله ورسوله وصفيه وخليله أرسله الله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا بين يدي الساعة من يطع الله ورسوله فقد رشد ومن يعصهما فقد ضل وغوى أما بعد يقول الله عز وجل يا أيها الذين آمنوا ويقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم اتق الله حيثما كنت واتبع السيئة الحسنة تمحها فاتقوا الله يا عباد الله اتقوا الله في السر والعلن. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered us to be conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, be aware of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as He deserves, and only die as believers. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told us, be conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wherever you are, and follow a bad deed with a good deed, it will wipe it away. And deal with people in a good manner. ويقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا قال الإمام وإذا قال لصاحبه والأنصت والإمام يخطب فقد لغى ومن لغى فلا جمعة له. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, anybody says to the person next to him, be quiet, and whilst the khutbah is going on, whilst the imam is speaking, فقد لغى, he's done something that's worthless, he's done something that's pointless, and anybody who does anything that's worthless or pointless has no jum'ah. He has no jum'ah, he has no thawab, he has no reward of his jum'ah. So we keep on reminding that in these brief moments we have, the special moment, these are amongst the greatest moments that we have in the week, in the 7 days of the week that we have. In these moments of Sa'at al-Ijaba, in these moments, Sa'at al-Ijaba, the point where Allah subhanahu will answer any dua as the khatib gets up onto the minbar in between the two khutbahs. These are moments of Sa'at al-Ijaba. These are moments, any dua that a person has, Allah subhanahu will accept it, bi barakat al-khutbah, through the blessings of the khutbah, through the blessings of dhikr Allah ta'ala, fas'au ila dhikrillah. rush to the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in these brief moments, half an hour we have, where we speak about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fulfilling this great obligation, everybody just remain silent. Just remain silent. That's what the Prophet said. Even if somebody's speaking, don't tell them to be quiet, because then you've also spoken. Everything at these moments should be concentrated on dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As we move closer and closer to Ramadan, we're just over 2 weeks away from Ramadan. The great guest of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is about to come to us. And inshallah we'll be in a state where we're ready to receive the great guest of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the guest comes with the greatest of all gifts. And we've spoken about dua, we've spoken about Quran, we've spoken about muharramat, about avoiding prohibitions. But one of the keys, one of the most important aspects of Ramadan is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through the blessed month of Ramadan, will allow you to get a glimpse into what you truly are, who you truly are. You will get to see your real nature, because life from beginning to end is a struggle. It's difficulty. Life is difficulty. And when we say that life is difficult and struggle, we don't mean dunya. We don't mean your work. We don't mean your job. We don't mean about making money. Because these are things Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has guaranteed you. We sweat and we toil and we cry and we worry about food that's put on our table. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us, وَفِي السَّمَاءِ رِزْقُكُمْ وَمَا تُوعَدُونَ فَوَرَبِّ السَّمَاءِ وَالْأَرْضِ إِنَّهُ لَحَقٌّ مِثْلَ مَا أَنَّكُمْ تَنْطِقُونَ. We're always stressed out about the next pay packet that we're going to have, about how to pay our bills. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, your provision is in the heavens. وَفِي السَّمَاءِ رِزْقُكُمْ. And it comes down from the heavens. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is guaranteed in the heavens that He's going to provide you. وَمَا مِن دَابَّةٍ فِي الْأَرْضِ إِلَّا عَلَى اللَّهِ رِزْقُهَا. Like, be like the bird. The Prophet said, be like the bird that flies out of its nest in the morning. Stomach is empty, has nothing, but it comes back at night time and its stomach is full. لَوْ أَنَّكُمْ تَتَوَكَّلُونَ عَلَى اللَّهِ. If only you had reliance on Allah as the bird that flies out of its nest with its stomach empty and it comes back with its stomach full. Imam Hassan al-Basri, rahimahullah, he was asked, مَا سِرُّ زُهْدِكَ? What's the secret of your detachment from this world? Amongst the things that he answered, عَلِمْتُ أَنَّ رِزْقِي لَا يَأْخُذُهُ غَيْرِي فَاطْمَأَنَّ قَلْبِي. عَلِمْتُ أَنَّ رِزْقِي لَا يَأْخُذُهُ غَيْرِي فَاطْمَأَنَّ قَلْبِي. He said, I knew with certainty that my provision will not be taken by anybody other than me. So my heart was content. I knew my provision will not be touched by anybody other than me, so my heart was content. So when we say life is a struggle, life is hard, life is difficult, we're not talking about dunya, we're talking about akhirah. We're talking about your life with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like, what have you sent on? What have you prepared? What have you done for tomorrow? Like, do you not think about the moment you go into your grave? And the Prophet said, everything that you do comes to an end. Everything that you do. You have nothing more except for from three. You have nothing more except for sadaqah jariyah, except for ilmun yuntafa'u bih, except for waladun salihun yad'u. You have nothing more to leave this world except for charity that continues. Charity that continues. Like the masjid here, like this great masjid that we're in. Every time we give a penny or we give £1,000, that's sadaqatun jariyah. That will never come to an end. That will never come to an end. Every time we struggle to take something out from our pocket, remember there's a point where you can no longer do that. You can no longer say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can no longer do dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can no longer read Quran. You can no longer give sadaqah. And there'll be some who will say, allow me to go back. Allow me to go back. So that I can give charity. And so that I can worship. The charity is now. Sadaqatun jariyah is now. The charity is now. It's not in the grave. There's nothing more that's left. Knowledge, nothing more in the grave. It's whatever you left behind. It's your legacy in this world that matters. What did you leave behind in this world? And what have you sent forward for the next world? What have you sent forward for the next world? Because every single moment you make some money, that money's gone in a day or two. There's no baqa. There's no permanence to anything that you acquire in this world. مَا عِنْدَكُمْ يَنْفَدْ وَمَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ بَاقٍ. Everything that you have is is perishing. It comes to an end. It passes within a day or two. وَمَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ بَعْدُ. But everything that's with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is perishing. However small it may be, some ilm, some salah, some zakah, some siyam, however small it may be, مَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ بَاقٍ. Anything that you send on, that's with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not as, just to correct you, and this is not to point out, you don't say in the pocket of Allah, but you say in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's how the Prophet spoke about it. In the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Although that's not in a literal sense. But everything you send on, it's with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's waiting for you there. وَمَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ بَاقٍ. So remember that as we go through these struggles of life, the struggles of life are not the real struggle. The struggle of life is not the real struggle. And this is just a sijn. This is just an imprisonment for the believer. And the real believer, who's really connected to his Lord, who understands what everything's really about, he wants out from this, not because of dunya, not because he yearns to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's desperate to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the real struggle of life. To overcome yourself, to overcome the enemies that you have. And the enemies that you have may not be human enemies. The biggest enemy that you have to overcome, that the Prophet ﷺ told us, أَعْدَ الْعَادِ الَّذِي بَيْنَ جَنْبَيْكَ. The biggest enemy that you and I have is not some human who comes to threaten you, not some person who's going to come and harm you. The biggest enemy that you and I have, الَّذِي بَيْنَ جَنْبَيْكَ. It's the nafs that's between your sides. It's what's within you. It's the one that's trying to pull you down. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Messenger wants to raise you. But your nafs, the lowly soul, wants to pull you down. When it's time to do good, you'll find excuses not to do good. When temptations are put in front, there's nothing pulling you back. There's nothing stopping you going towards it. The nafs is the real enemy, bringing the ego under control. We also have another enemy. But that's not the real enemy. Shaitan is the enemy. The devil is the enemy. Shaitan is real. He's real. الَّذِي يُوَسْوِسُ فِي صُدُورِ النَّاسِ. The one who whispers into the very hearts of human beings. When a bad thought pops into your mind from nowhere, then you should know that Al-La'in, Al-Khannas has spoken to you. He's spoken to you. He keeps on speaking to you, planting seeds into your heart. But he's not the real enemy. He's not the real enemy. Because he can't make you do anything. He can't make you do anything. When you're about to be tempted into doing haram, he may have thrown the idea. It may be like a grenade thrown in your direction, but you caught it and it blew up in your face. You caught it, it blew up in front of you. You're the one who chooses to do good. You're the one who chooses to do wrong. He only plants ideas in your mind, and صدق الكذوب, as the Prophet ﷺ said on the Day of Judgment. وقال الشيطان لما قضي الأمر إن الله وعدكم وعدا ووعدتكم فأخلفتكم. On the Day of Judgment, when everything's over and done with, on the Day of Judgment, and humanity is now looking, you're the reason. Iblis, you're the reason why we've gone through all of this difficulty. You're the reason we're going to eternal hellfire. You're the reason why we're getting punished. What did he say? Sadaq al-kadhub. The liar speaks the truth at that moment. He says, Allah made you a promise, and I made you a promise, and I broke my promise. وَمَا كَانَ لِي عَلَيْكُمْ مِنْ سُلْطَانٍ إِلَّا أَنْ دَعَوْتُكُمْ فَاسْتَجَبْتُمْ لِي. I had no power over you except to call you, but you answered. When you are lying down in bed and it's time for Fajr, and he's now talking to you saying, just delay it a bit more, delay it a bit more. The bed is nice and cozy. Like, the water's a bit cold out there. It's cold, it's cozy, and I'll do my qada later on. I'll make it up later on. He spoke to you at that point. But all he did was, da'awtukum. I called you. But who answered? فَاسْتَجَبْتُ. You're the one who answered, not me. Iblis said, I just made the suggestion, you're the one who answered. So on that day he said, فَلَا تَلُومُونِي وَلُومُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Don't blame me, blame yourself. You can't blame anybody except for yourself. And Ramadan is going to show you that. Because the Prophet said, صُفِّدَتِ الشَّيَاطِينَ. Those devils are all going to be chained up. Chained up, silence. They can't say anything to you. There's no da'awtukum in Ramadan. There's no call from the devil in Ramadan. So when you get into Ramadan, and the first few days of Ramadan, you're on this You're on this hype. You're feeling like the Sahaba were in the presence of the Prophet ﷺ. You're feeling absolutely amazing. Taraweeh, let the Imam read as long as he wants. Let him go all the way to Fajr. Let him go beyond Fajr. You're feeling so much spiritual energy within you. But that usually doesn't last beyond a week. After a week, you see this, you will see this in Ramadan. The mosque is going to be packed out on the first Fajr of Ramadan. And it will be packed out for a few more Fajr. And Taraweeh will be all the way back. But then you go into the second part of the month and you suddenly start seeing it's dropping. It's dropping. And then at the very end, it'll come back up again. It'll suddenly come back up again. Because of this false euphoria that we have within us. But it's not real. It's not real. And then the biggest insight on the night of Ramadan, the last night of Ramadan, the mosque will be packed out, waiting for the announcement for Eid. And the very first Fajr of Eid, empty. And what's happening then? That's our nafs that's gone out of control. That's our nafs, that's our egos, we can't control ourselves. We just feel a bit happy at the beginning and we're there doing everything, and then it settles. And then we go back to what we really are. And then we truly see what we're like. And in the month of Ramadan, there'll be people sleeping through Fajr. Even though it's hard not to pray Fajr, but there'll still be people sleeping through Fajr. In Ramadan, the nafs comes back out, the ego comes back out, people lying, backfighting, looking at women who are virtually naked, doing all types of haram. Why? Devils are locked up. Devils are locked up, so what's happened there? You have nothing to blame but yourself. You have nothing to blame but yourself. So in Ramadan, you now get a glimpse about what you truly are. And often, it's a shock when we see what we really are. But at least, if we're sincere and if we have wa'i, if we have understanding, at least it will show us that's the struggle that we have. That's the struggle that we have. That's the difficulty. That's the hardship that we have to go through. It's not about work in your office, it's about work in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now you're getting shown this is where you are, and this is the struggle that you have to go through. This is the struggle that we have to go through, and that's what Ramadan is showing us. Our nafs, our soul is often out of control. Bring it under control. Bring it under control. وَمَا تَوْفِيقِي إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ. That's Sayyidina Shu'aib alayhi salam. So وَمَا تَوْفِيقِي إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ عَلَيْهِ تَوَكَّلْتُ وَإِلَيْهِ أُنِيبُ. The tawfiq only comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You cannot bring, it's a wild animal. Your nafs is a wild animal. It'll pull you every direction it wants. And you'll just go with it. You'll just go with it. Hawa muttaba. That's what the Prophet called it. Passions that are followed. You'll just go and do whatever you want. You will not be like those that the Prophet said, لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يكون هواه تبعا لما جئت به. None of you have real faith until you bring your passions in line with what I brought. None of you has real faith until your hawa is in line with sunnah. Until your hawa is in line with everything that the Prophet ﷺ came with. Make your hawa Nabi ﷺ. Make your desires and your passions, what you enjoy, the passions of the Prophet ﷺ. And what did he say? وَقُرَّةُ عَيْنِ فِي الصَّلَاةِ. He said, the coolness of my eye, the pleasure is surur. My happiness is work. It's not dunya. It's not dunya. He said, Mali wa dunya. What have I got to do with this world? What have I got to do with this world? He says, passion is work. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. That's what the Prophet ﷺ enjoyed the most. And that's where we need to bring our passions to, bring our desires to. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وإذا قرئ القرآن فاستمعوا له وأنصتوا لعلكم ترحمون. بارك الله لنا ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعنا وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم إنه سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب فاستغفروه فيا فوز المستغفرين. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد. You have these 30 days that are about to come. 30 days where we get to see what we're about. 30 days where we're going to receive so many gifts from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But in those last 10 days, there's a special day that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. in those last 10 days, the gifts are going to get rained down upon the believers. Showered down upon the believers. The Prophet ﷺ said, seek out Laylatul Qadr in the last 10 days of Ramadan. Seek out the night of power, the night of influence, the night of majesty, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gives خَيْرٌ مِّنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ. Better than one lifetime worth of worship is one of those nights in the last 10 days of Ramadan. And the Prophet ﷺ, he did many things as a sunnah, but he also on occasions didn't do it. He would, for example, use a miswak. He would use a miswak. The Prophet ﷺ would sleep on his right side. He would eat with his right. These are all sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. We have many examples of those things that the Prophet ﷺ did as adah, as a practice. But there was one thing he ﷺ never missed out. And so few of us do it. And so few of us do it. That's why one of the Salihin said, عَجَبًا لِلْمُسْلِمِينَ. How strange are the Muslims. The Prophet ﷺ on occasion would do some things and he would also not do things. But ever since he came to Medina, he never missed the i'tikaf in the last 10 days of Ramadan. Ever since he came to Medina, he never missed the i'tikaf in the last 10 days of Ramadan. He would sit in the masjid, read the Quran, mudarasat al-Quran ma'a Jibreel. The whole of the Quran he would read with Sayyidina Jibreel alayhi salam. And in the last Ramadan he stayed 20 days, not 10 days. And he read the whole of the Quran twice to Jibreel alayhi salam. And where are we in the last 10 days of Ramadan? And we don't even plan that this is the month that's coming, and there's 10 days, and one night of those 10 days, I can worship for my whole life. But what do? We turn our back. We'll say, yes, the Prophet ﷺ did that, but I'll carry on using the miswak. That's my son. I'll carry on using the miswak. The Prophet ﷺ, he was seeking the highest for all of us. He wanted us to rise to the highest of degrees. He wanted us to be detached from this world. He wanted us in this month to turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our entirety. And He wanted us to give 10 days to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in which we can cleanse ourselves, in which we can cut ourselves off from this world. If you can't do the last 10 days of Ramadan, at least do one day, at least do 1 hour. Just seek out something of the gift that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showering down upon the believers in the last 10 days of Ramadan. Don't be from those who are mahrumeen. Don't be from those who are deprived of so much goodness that's coming out in this month. Think about the struggle of life. Think about our difficulty that we have in our journey to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and think about what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing us in this month, and think about what He's giving to us in this month. And if we miss out on all of this, we truly are mahroom. We truly are deprived of the greatness that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showering to us through this guest, through this great guest that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sending to us. Prepare yourself, it's only 2 weeks away. Get ready, don't think of food. It's not لَعَلَّكُمْ تَأْكُلُونَ, it's لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not set down this one لَعَلَّكُمْ تَأْكُلُونَ, He said لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. It's not a month of eating, it's a month of fasting. It's a month of fasting. Be prepared to give up your shahawat. Be prepared to give up not just food and drink, but your lowest passions, your desires that push you towards haram. Be ready for the struggle. Be ready for the struggle. Be ready for hardship. But any struggle, any hardship you go through in this life, will be raha. Raha. It will be so much pleasure and ease and contentment the first night that you leave this world. Just sweat a bit in this world, and you'll see the result of it the first night that you leave this world. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد في الأولين وصل وسلم على سيدنا محمد في الآخرين وصل وسلم على سيدنا محمد في الملأ الأعلى إلى يوم الدين وصل وسلم على سيدنا محمد حتى ترث الأرض ومن عليها وأنت خير الوارثين. اللهم إنا نسألك في هذا المقام ألا تدع لنا فيها ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا هما إلا فرجته ولا دينا إلا قضيته ولا مريضا إلا شفيته ولا محتاجا إلا أعنته ولا حاجة من حوائج الدنيا هي لك فيها رضا إلا قضيتها يا أرحم الراحمين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. عباد الله رحمكم الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون.
Please exit the mosque safely. Allow the elder members of the congregation to go first. The staircases, on the stairways, it gets congested. Please allow everyone to go out safely. Also, the collection for last week was £953. Jazakallah khair for your donations. And please, as you exit the mosque, pay as much as you can towards the refurbishment of this Hasbullah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep you all safe and well. And last thing is we have a TV crew from NTV, which is the National Bengali channel, who will be recording and taking interviews of the members of the congregations. Please participate with them. This is for collecting funds for the masjid, where we'll be going on live television in about a week's time to tell more about what we do here in the Abdullah Masjid. Again, Jazakumullah khairan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us safe and well until we meet again next week. Assalamu alaikum.
عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Sister Haifa, first and foremost, I'd like to ask from a sister's point of view, how do you feel about attending the very first masjid of the UK?
Yeah, really, I'm very happy to be in this masjid, yeah. And in fact, this is the first time for me to come here because I recently moved to a close area here. and it was I have my mom, she's living with me there, and she's disabled. That's why I searched and I found this masjid. I read in the internet that this is an old masjid. I think it's the first masjid built in UK and built by Mr. This give me.
And how do you feel about this masjid? I mean, do you feel good when you come in here and,
Yeah, sure,
and the community here?
Yeah. First of all, because it's easy to access to the public transport, and the masjid itself, it's not just the location. It's also, the history of this masjid is really. I feel so proud of myself. That it's an oldest masjid is here in UK, and this means that really Islam. So I'm happy to be a member within this. Although I asked, because this masjid is at the beginning, I think still there's a lot of reconstruction.
What do they have right now for sisters that you can share with everybody?
Yeah, as you know, as I said, that this is the first time for me, but I get in conversation with the other sisters, they've been here for a long time before me.
Yes.
And there's a lot of activity taking place in this place, which is a children class for Arabic and Tajweed. And also they are very happy with the Imam of this masjid, Mr. Harun, they say, Sheikh Harun, who give a very good, I think they give lectures every week. And also it's a nice place, in UK, masjid is not just a masjid, also it's like a community center. So, it's very good that they're sharing socially, the people, they come here. For example, my mom really, masjid for her, because she's elderly and disabled, it's harder to go outside. So